Men have hated women throughout the history. Is that true? And I say yes. Okay, and at the same time, the majority of kings around the world had multiple wives and hundred of mistresses. But Queen didn't have that. Why is that? I think it's also misogyny. Misogyny is always difficult, and I talk about the history where men always see a woman as inferior to men. I'm not talking about ancient time. The US is nothing when it comes to practice of misogyny. Europe is hardcore misogynist when it's come to practice of misogyny. Misogyny always exists in the world, but I think it's not over anytime soon. We change the form of misogyny, but the pattern of misogyny is same. In ancient time, it was practiced by assaulting women physically, but now it was practiced by assaulting women mentally. I mean, internet hate and online harassment. Once upon a time in Europe, there was a guy named Aristotle. He said that women are deformed males and their only purpose is to reproduce babies. Even in ancient Greece, women are not allowed to enjoy social life. I mean, they are trapped in their homes all day and night, and there is only one duty, which is to produce as many as kids. Yes, European families were big then from now, but women are also considered as a slave of their husband, and husband have full right to beat their wife ass out. And it is the duty of wife not only to take action against the husband if the husband beat her ass out. And the Middle Age, which was more brutal for women, they didn't assault or beat women at that time, but they burned them alive. That's called witchcraft punishment. And the most interesting thing is that husband took revenge on his ex-wife in the name of witchcraft punishment. That happened in 16th or 17th century. And the most common thing happened with the women in the medieval time is to beating the wife ass out, which is more common. And husband does this to teach the wife a lesson of discipline. A lesson of discipline. Beaten out the wife was widely accepted by the society and the laws. And if a man cheated on his wife in that time, there was no punishment for him. But if a woman cheated on her husband, then she committed adultery. And what happened to her first? Her husband beat her ass out, and then after the divorce, she had to go through the public shaming, and she was publicly shamed by the society and humiliated. And sometimes, not every time, but sometimes executed by the law means public execution. Now talk about some real life example of misogyny. The case of Joan of Arc. She was burned alive to death due to blame for black magic and witchcraft in 1431. However, there is no proof that she is guilty or not, and thousands of women will be burnt alive in the case of witchcraft. And now we talk about the Grisella who love her husband, but her psycho husband want to test her, see how much she love him. So he goes to extreme and give her physical and emotional pain and force her to abandon her child. I think it's crazy, right? The society was patriarchal, and testing or controlling the wife is considered as a proud moment for a man. These laws are also patriarchal and decide what women wear and what they study. Christian teaching is also considered as a major role which would make a woman subordinate to men. And the persecution of Jewish women, a Jewish women community that was blamed during the Black Death and suffer a lot. Force considered as a black spot rape and many other things. Basically, men blame everything for and find a chance to beat women ass out. These examples are just the tip of iceberg. I forgot about the temple prostitution. When women are considered whore and forced to perform sexual performance in temple, the data was not much available about temple prostitution, but I think it's happened because of sexual slavery. And it's a way to earn money during the war, in which many women were captured by pimps and sold to different countries at different prices. Unfortunately, these cases are just tip of iceberg. Women also suffer a lot in modern times, but this video is about the ancient and medieval time. Infidelity is curse for women. I know many women in the world cannot become a mother, and even in some country, women are considered that slur word. I cannot tell them, but I don't know why this fucking society hate infertile women. They are also human like us. I mean, they are also human. They don't need to be hated, and it's not their fault. Many women suffer from miscarriage every day, and taunting by family is worse. My friend' wife is infertile. He threw her out of the house and took a divorce when he found out. I don't know, but it's not a way to treat a woman. If he want, then instead adopt the child or try to solve problem with her. But he literally threw her out. Infertility is curse for women, in my opinion, and women do not need to be ashamed of it. Why are they ashamed? They didn't commit any crime, and I don't believe that the fault of a woman being infertile is about nature. Society really sucks and judgmental, especially with females. So I talk about some more thing, which I mean, how do you treat a woman who's dealing with fertility issue? In a sense, then the situation was even more worse and really very bad. They consider it from a curse of God, and that women had to suffer a lot from society. I mean, shame a huge amount. And she was always at the risk of being raped or forced into prostitution because pimps try to take advantage of these women and make bucks. Even if there is a myth that if a pregnant woman talks with infertile women, they have miscarriage. Even if a woman is completely fertile who refuses to make babies, will also considered as a infertile and labeled as God curse. In Egypt, infertile women pray to Isis, who is considered as the goddess of fertility and motherhood. Egypt is better than Greece because they play blame and shame game with infertile women and think it's only that the women's fault. And in some cases, men have fertility issue too, and women are fine, but it's still they blame her rather than the men. Now we talk about some biblical stories that was mentioned in Bible. I don't know if you read the Bible or not. Sarah, which was mentioned in the Bible, and as per the Bible, Sarah is the wife of Abraham, and she was completely infertile until she was 90-year old. But by God miracle, she conceived, and that baby name is Isa. There are some more examples in the Bible. The infertility of Rebecca, which was mentioned in the Bible, was that she was infertile, and by the God grace, she received two sons, Isa and Jacob, and they are twins. And Hannah's infertility, she prayed to God, and God granted her son. You have to read the Bible. That's my personal opinion. See, I don't know about modern US, but in my country, the whole society and even the family member force women a lot to produce kids. And and if she is infertile, then she will be thrown from the house and humiliated by the society too. In the 21st century, they are way too orthodox. There's a study which was published in Human Production that found there are many women who committed suicide, and the reason is infertility. See, there are many support groups you can join if you suffer from infertility, and you can also talk with me if you feel sad or depressed. But please don't take any big step. God is always there for us. He tests us, and every woman need to be strong and fight.